Don't mind me, I am just cooking a little bit, but I had a great video idea about the ugly sides of zero waste. By the way, I am cooking a pumpkin soup for my parents as they come around later, and for my boyfriend and I, and we're gonna enjoy that. But I wanted to talk to you about function over aesthetic, because I think that many people are drawn to zero waste and minimalism because of the aesthetic of it, because of the clear lines and white surfaces and just very structured look that minimalism often has, and also zero waste. But it's not always like that, and I think it's very important to say that sometimes function of a thing is more important than the aesthetic of it. And I call this the ugly side of zero waste. And I think I saw a video of Shelby on YouTube who did the same thing, and I really felt inspired to do something like that myself. So I made a list of things that kind of are a bit ugly, but all the things that I do, they serve a purpose, and I wanted to talk to you about them. So here is my list. I hope you enjoy, and I'm gonna get back to cooking now. By the way, I don't want to say that the aesthetic look is kind of bad or not good in any form, but it's just not the thing that most people start with when starting with minimalism, and they might get frustrated. And so this is just thought as an inspiration or motivation to keep going until you achieve the aesthetic that you want. But until then, maybe just prefer function over aesthetic and use up the things that you have instead of going out and buying more, because that is definitely not the idea of sustainability and minimalism. Let's get started with the first thing, and that is that I hang dry my clothes and my towels and everything that I wash, and I dry them in my flat. I have a loft storage where I could potentially put these, but that is on the 4th floor, and I'm just way too lazy to bring my wet clothes up there, so I decide to dry them in my own flat. Sometimes I have to carry around the hanging dryer in my flat because it's in the way for something else, but it is really benefiting me. First of all, I don't need to buy a dryer, which saves me a lot of money. Then I don't have to pay for dryer sheets and all this extra kind of stuff to dry my clothes. And then also I save money on electricity, and actually hang drying or air drying your clothes is actually way better for them, because it doesn't damage the material in any way, shape or form. The one thing that might be a bit annoying about air drying your clothes in your flat is, first of all, the hanging rack is always in the way and you have to carry it around constantly and move it out of the way. And the second thing is, especially in winter, it takes some time until your clothes are dry, and sometimes it takes up to 2 days, which is a bit annoying. But then again, in summer your clothes are dry within a couple of hours, so I don't really mind. The second thing that is not really aesthetic in my flat is all the mismatched things I have. That is, might be socks, that might be like storage glasses that I have, it's plant pot holders on my balcony and in my flat, and it's like cushions that really do not match the rest of the room, but they have a function, and as long as they don't break, I'm not going to replace them. Maybe if something breaks or gets damaged, then of course I'm going to replace it with something that matches the rest of my home. But until then, if it has a function and is working properly, why should I replace it just for aesthetics? Then the third thing, and that has something to do with zero waste, is that some of the things that I buy, like toilet paper, it still comes in plastic, and I know that there are options out there for buying toilet paper that is packaged in paper, but the options that I researched were just way too expensive, and I simply cannot afford them. I did some quick math with the toilet paper. So if I bought the toilet paper from the company that I wanted to buy them from, I have to look this up, I had to pay 71 euros and 88 cents for 96 rolls of toilet paper. That doesn't sound too bad, but I did the math, and the toilet paper that I normally buy, you buy in packs of 10, and it costs €1.75. That equals to €16.80 for 96 rolls of toilet paper, if I did that correctly. So the difference is enormous. I mean, €72 to almost 17. It's a big difference, and I don't mind paying a bit more for a sustainable option, but paying like almost 5 times the price that I'd pay in a normal supermarket is just something that I cannot afford for toilet paper. I know there are many other options out there if you don't want to use toilet paper, and I'm definitely looking into those at the moment, like a bidet or something like that. But right now I'm not willing to pay like 5 times the price for toilet paper that is just simply packaged in plastic, in paper. I'm trying to buy recycled toilet paper, but again, it's like a fraction of the price for the sustainable packaged in paper toilet paper that you can buy online. So it's not really worth it for me. And let's get on with the video. I'm trying something else, and that is reusing the plastic bags that the toilet paper came in. So I just save them, and especially for small bins, these like toilet paper plastic bags are perfect to put into the bin and then just throw them out. So I get another round of use out of them, and that is what I do. But I sometimes have to put them somewhere, and that is this beautiful space in my cupboard, which is full of toilet paper plastic bags. This is the place of crime. This is my bag of bags. And that's where I store them. It's not very pretty to look at, but at least I'm reusing them. The first thing that I do that might not be very aesthetic, but again, it has a functional purpose, and that is because I am still using a regular razor with regular blades that are framed in like plastic, because I just simply cannot use the safety razor. I tried and it just doesn't work for me. But they come in these little plastic containers, and instead of throwing those away, or at least the last one, I didn't throw it away, but I repurposed it so it became like my drying rack for my shampoo. So every time I use my shampoo in the shower, I have to dry it afterwards, and putting it on this like razor stand, because it also has holes in them, it's a perfect way to dry my shampoo. And I still get good use out of the little plastic razor thingy, and my shampoo gets dry. So win-win on both sides. Then the next thing that is not very pretty is my handkerchiefs. I don't know, 1.5 years ago I switched to using reusable handkerchiefs made out of old pillowcases, t-shirts, towels that I had lying around, and I just cut them into squares, and now I use them as napkins, handkerchiefs, whatever I need them for, and they work perfectly fine. And if they're dirty, then I just throw them into the laundry and wash them, hang dry them, and then they're as good as new. And I haven't bought paper tissues in God knows how long. So I'm saving money again on that one too. And also the fabric from the towels and pillowcases is much softer on your nose and on your skin, and doesn't irritate them as much. So if you have a cold, using cloth handkerchiefs is just the way to go for me, and I would never switch it up again. In the beginning it was a bit weird. And but I got used to it, just like I got used to so many other things that I now do and don't think twice about. And I also have more cut up towels and stuff back here for cleaning. Yeah, so this was once a bath towel, and now it's a cleaning towel. But yeah. Just as with the napkins, I reuse envelopes and cut them into little squares and clip them together to have kind of paper to take notes on. I don't see any reason why I should throw away a perfectly nice envelope. Of course, when opening them, I have to be a bit more careful so it's not all like ripped apart, but it doesn't really matter, and it takes like 2 cuts, and I have 4 pieces of paper, brand new paper to write on, to take my notes for going to the grocery store. I give the envelopes a second life, and I didn't have to buy new paper in literally years. I think it's been years. So these are the cut up envelopes. I also have some leftover like regular note taking paper. And yeah, I have to buy some time and basil. But yeah, these are the cut up envelopes. As you can see, you can only use one side, but at least you can reuse them again. Also, I do not only use old envelopes for notes, but I also use paper that is given to me where the back is still empty, and I use them to doing my summaries for tests and stuff. But yeah, so always give stuff a second life, even if it does not look very pretty. The next thing is that I restitch my pants, or I have them restitched and repaired instead of just throwing them away if they have a hole. I cycle a lot, and my pants and my trousers, they rip a lot. Because of that, because of the friction of the saddle and the pants, the material gets quite thin quickly, and then there are holes in them. And instead of throwing them away, I bring them to a local business here, and they repair them for me. That might not look like beautiful. If I wear them, you can hardly recognize that, but I just cannot be bothered to buy new pants every couple of months, and that's why I have them restitched. It doesn't really look very nice, but I don't care. They just have to work for me. I could probably learn how to repair them myself, but to be honest, I just cannot be bothered to learn it. So I decided to just support local businesses and have them repair my pants. And then finally, the last thing, and that is one thing that is probably a bit weird, but here in Germany, or at least where I live, we get a free newspaper, a local newspaper, every Saturday. I don't get it because I put a little sign on my, what's it called? So I don't get one because I think it's very wasteful, because I don't really read it, but I'm always stealing one. So I don't want one, but I steal one because there is a really big crossword in it. And the way I do it is, because many people don't want to read it and they just throw it away outside in the bin, is that I go into the bin and take one from there. Yeah, it's just one of the things I do because I don't want to create the demand for the newspaper, but I want the crossword. And as other people are throwing it away anyway, I don't see any harm in just getting it out of the trash bin, then doing the crossword and throwing it away afterwards. Yeah, that's just one of the weird things I do. It's kind of ugly zero waste, but otherwise the newspaper is just wasted, and I'd have to waste another newspaper of mine again if I wanted my own. Yeah, so that was it. My ugly sides of zero waste. I'm curious if you do any of these things as well. I don't consider them bad in any way, shape, or form. It's just not that it does not go with this aesthetic of zero waste and minimalism that many people have in their head. But yeah, it's working for me, and I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you can adapt some of the things that I do, or I could give you some ideas of how to use or reuse things in your life as well. I hope you have an amazing day, and I see you in the next one. Bye!